Hello, first graders. Good morning. Welcome back. I hope you had a great weekend. It's Monday, so that means we're learning our new sight words today. Are we ready? Hope so. Number 1 is the word house. The sentence says they learned how to build a house for birds. That's fun. Can you think of a way to use house in a sentence? I am filming in my house. That was easy. Number 2 is the word along. The sentence says he rode carefully along the bike path. Notice there's the word long in there. So if you know long, you can know along. Can you think of a way to use along in a sentence? You can follow along with the videos. And you are. Number 3 is such a long one. You ready? It's the word together. The sentence says the baby can clap her hands together now. Good for her. It's a long word, but it starts with a word you already know. Two. Together. Number 4 is the word boy. The boy teaches his sister to read. Can you think of a way to use boy in a sentence? My nephew is a boy. Number 5 is the word father. We had mother a couple weeks ago. Now we have father. The sentence says, my father teaches me how to swim. Can you think of a way to use father in a sentence? My father taught me how to ride a bike. Number 6 is the word again. We went out to the ice to practice. Again to practice. Almost left the sight word out. Can you think of a way to use again in a sentence? I can't wait to see you again. Number 7, another long one. It's the word nothing. The sentence says, at first, nothing fit, but he finished the puzzle. Could you think of a way to use nothing in a sentence? I would like nothing more than to go back to school. Last one is the word began. She began to take violin lessons. It means to have started something. We had begins a few weeks ago, and now we have began. I began to teach online. All right, here we have all of the sight words together. Oh, I just used one, together. Can you think of a way to use more than one of these sight words? We live in a house together. Or the boy began to play with his father. I used 3 of them. You want to guess what the story is about this week? It's a tough one to figure out. All of these people are learning how to do something new. They learn to build a house and ride a bike and clap and practice on the ice. The story we're going to read this week, I think you'll be excited. We have already read the story this week when we were doing small moment stories. You recognize it? It's called Whistle for Willie. So fun. The essential question says, how can you take good care of a pet? Remember, Willie is his pet dog. I wonder if you have any pets and if you know how to take care of them. So again, because you don't have the book, you'll have to try to read it on screen, and I'm sorry about that. I know it's a little bit tricky. If you see me start to turn a page and you're not done yet, just hit pause and take as long as you need to. Whistle for Willie. All right, now let's read Whistle for Willie together. It's by Ezra Jack Keats. Do you remember the other story we read that he wrote? He wrote The Snowy Day. Oh, how Peter wished he could whistle. He saw a boy playing with his dog. Whenever the boy whistled, the dog ran straight to him. Peter tried and tried to whistle, but he couldn't. So, instead, he began to turn himself around and around and around he whirled faster and faster. When he stopped, everything turned down and up and up and down and around and around. I remember when we read this before, this was one of the spots where we felt like we were right there in the story, that we knew what that felt like. Peter saw his dog Willie coming. Quick as a wink, he hid in an empty carton lying on the sidewalk. Wouldn't it be funny if I whistled? Peter thought. Willie would stop and look all around to see who it was. Peter tried again to whistle, but still he couldn't, so Willie just walked on. Peter got out of the carton and started home. On the way, he took some colored chalks out of his pocket and drew a long, long line right up to his door. He stood there and tried to whistle again. He blew till his cheeks were tired, but nothing happened. He went into his house and put on his father's old hat to make himself feel more grown up. He looked into the mirror to practice whistling. Still, no whistle. When his mother saw what he was doing, Peter pretended that he was his father. He said, "I've come home early today, dear. Is Peter here?" His mother answered, "Why, no, he's outside with Willie." "Well, I'll go out and look for them," said Peter. First, he walked along a crack in the sidewalk. Then he tried to run away from his shadow. He jumped off his shadow, but when he landed, they were together again. He came to the corner where the carton was, and who should he see but Willie? Peter scrambled under the carton. He blew and blew. Suddenly, out came a real whistle. Willie stopped and looked around to see who it was. Willie looked surprised. "It's me," Peter shouted, and stood up. Willie raced straight to him. Peter ran home to show his father and mother what he could do. They loved Peter's whistling. So did Willie. Peter's mother asked him and Willie to go on an errand to the grocery store. He whistled all the way there, and he whistled all the way home. That's such a good story. I hope you liked it as much this time around as we did before. Next, you're going to need your reader's notebook and a pencil. So we're going to work on page 119 in your reader's notebook today. We're going to do some story sequencing. So we're going to write a summary of Whistle for Willie. Remember, a summary is saying what the story is about. So, write what happened first in the story, what happened next in the story, and what happened last. You guys are really good at this. So I remember that the first thing that happened in the story is that Peter, the boy, saw somebody whistle for his dog and decided that he wanted to learn to whistle for his dog, Willie. Then I remember next, in the middle of the story, Peter practicing to whistle, but he couldn't. So he did a couple other things. He spun around and around. He drew with chalk. He pretended to be his dad. And then the last part of the story, which is my favorite, is when Peter finally learns how to whistle. So remember to keep practicing your sight words. Either your grown-ups can print it out of the packet that I send them, or you can make them on index cards or sticky notes or any other piece of paper that you have so that you can keep practicing them. And start to keep an eye out for these words in all the books that you're reading. See you later for more. Bye.